Morning. Here we go. Oh, I forgot my music. Hey, what's up, Gun Highs? Yeah, I don't know about C, man. I'm kind of on the fence about it at the moment. I mean, I shouldn't pass judgment on it just quite yet. I've only been doing it for like 3 days, So probably need a lot more time under my belt to really get comfortable with it. But it's been a little bit of a struggle, just a different way to think while you're writing code. I thought learning Rust was hard. Hello, Block. C is the mother of C sharp, so we love our mother. Yeah, C is the mother of all languages, right? To some extent. Um, there's a diagram I've looked up before. Programming language, family tree. I guess Fortran's the mother of all languages, based on this diagram. Yeah, I guess everybody has to pay homage to C. I guess Fortran maybe is the based on this, although COBOL I guess could be considered its own independent family line. Oh, that's crazy. They attributed C sharp to Java. Hmm. I mean, it definitely was a reaction to Java, right? I mean, it was originally like J sharp or something. Groovy.
I like to say something. Sorry, my bad.
Nice to see you, Uncle Pee Wee. Thanks for being here. Hell yeah, Fortran took us to the moon and beyond Soul. No, it was reaction to Java, but fuck, man, not Java to C sharp. It was VB to C sharp, yeah. I never have written any VB. A lot of other C sharp developers I talk to, though, tell me about the fact that VB was kind of how they got their start. Okay. Got all our notifications. Let's go ahead and activate a potion so we get extra XP. Hey, what's up, Danny? How are you doing? Back then, Microsoft was scared because Java was cross-platform. I bet it must have been scary for Microsoft. I mean, there's two things I give a lot of credit. I mean, Microsoft has such a bad rap, but there's two things I give Microsoft a lot of credit from a business perspective. Is one, the Bill Gates internet memo, right? Like there was somebody whose whole business was built on top of this, personal computer, local desktop, right? Um, Existence and the willingness to sort of like, uh, what's the word, cannibalize his own business because he saw this, you know, powerful piece of technology come down the pipeline. And then the other thing I give Microsoft a lot of credit for is their pivot with .NET to be open source, and embracing open source community in TypeScript, VS Code, .NET. Like, I think that's done a lot of good for the world, in my opinion. I'm doing well, Danny. Yeah, I'm doing good. Just another day. It did kind of sound a little bit like a fart. A little bit too hard on the P though. It was more like a poop, burp. VB was very nice, especially for Windows Forms, ahead of its time. Yeah, I've never used VB, and I've never really used WinForms either. There's a lag between your code and video. Oh, really? Talk, 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 talk. Huh, that's weird. I wonder why. It looks okay over here. I'm just looking at my settings in Meld Studio to see if I see anything that looks off. Yeah, I don't see anything myself. Because of Java, it started stuttering. Well, if it is me, I don't know what to do about it. So we will just have to live with the lag. My internet just disconnected. That's so weird. I'm curious to see what happens to that whenever I disconnect. It's good now? Okay, cool. Let's see. We'll get to have our first deeper exploration of generics in C. Remember that just means void star, as well as creating a data structure we will later use in our mark and sweep garbage collector. Take a look at snake stack.h, specifically the stack struct. Hello, Duckbowl. Sorry, Duckboy, not Duckbowl. How are you doing? Okay, take a look at snake, specifically the stack struct. Count is the number of elements in the stack. Capacity is the number of elements the stack can hold before it needs to be resized in memory. Data is a pointer to all the generic data. Implement the stack new function. Allocate memory for a new stack struct on the heap. If allocation fails, return null. Okay, let's just do this step by step. So, oops. So we want to do new void star new memory equals malloc, and we want to initialize it to the capacity. If allocation fails, return null. So if new memory equals null, return null. Yeah. Hey, what's up there? Ganoutu? Ganout? I don't know how to say your name. Oh, that's awesome. Nice full sleep. Well, you better get back on it before you lose your streak, man. That, or you can buy embers. Maybe you should try using some embers. How much time you give to problems? Is that something you love, or just doing it for fun? I'm doing boot.dev for fun, really just for the entertainment value of it more than anything. I'm kind of treating it like playing a video game, you know? But I find programming and coding, I find learning new things, I find programming and coding very enjoyable. And then add a layer of gamification on top of it, and it's, it's a great time. Does that make me a little nerdy? Yes, it does. As far as how much time do I give problems, I'll just give them as much time as they need, you know? Okay, allocate memory for a new stack struck on the heap. So should this actually be stack T? I don't know. Then initialize the count to 0. So that would be like that. Initialize the capacity to the given value. Oh, also, this probably shouldn't be capacity, should it? This should be size of stack T. And then initialize data by allocating enough memory for capacity number of void star pointers. So this would be what would this be? I guess this would be new stack data equals malloc. If allocation fails, free the stack struck and return null. Otherwise, return the stack. Okay, so go ahead and just return the new stack. And then we should say, I guess, data or void star data equals malloc. And they want how much? They want the capacity. So by allocating enough memory for capacity number of void star pointers. Like that, maybe? Whoops. If data equals null, return null. Okay, let's do a quick double check, make sure we did everything. Allocate the memory for the new stack, we did that. If allocation fails, we return null. We initialize the count to 0, initialize the capacity to the given value, initialize the data by allocating enough memory for capacity number of void star pointers. Yep. If allocation fails, we return null. Okay, I think we got this. Let's run it. Submit. Oh, no. Gosh, dang it. Dude, I'm going to need so much armor to get through this course. Let's see, where did we fail? Assertion failed. Boot alloc size equals size of stack T plus capacity times size of void star. Oh, so this should be... I thought that might have been the case. Like that. There we go. How much armor do I have? I need to remember how much armor I have because that's gonna become a problem. Lisp stream? I don't know if we'll ever do Lisp, man. Ryan, one of my other guys that used to come into my stream a lot, he was an engineer, I think, like a manufacturing engineer, and he was using Lisp with a bunch of CAD software that he was working on, and he was like he even messaged me on Discord and was like, "Hey man, I think we should work on a project together, but we'd have to do it in Lisp." And I was like, "I'd love to work on a project with you, but I don't think I can get over my aversion to parentheses." Let's see, cool. I always want to do LeetCode, but I haven't got that much time with my full-time job. Yeah, I'm not a big LeetCode person myself. Um, I like building software though. I'm currently right now working on a little desktop Windows utility app in Rust, and it's using Tari, so the back end is in Rust and the front end is React, and that's been fun. That's what I've been working on in my spare time. But boot.dev has been fun to do on stream. The closest I get to LeetCode every year is Advent of Code. That's about the closest I get to LeetCode every year. I guess maybe if I ever have to like.
Did we just become best friends?
Hey, Pranesh Codes, thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. I feel like if I maybe ever have to do some serious interviewing, maybe I'll need to brush up on my LeetCode. But right now, knock on wood, I'm presently employed, so and happy where I'm at. So the guy from your stream was fully Lisp built. Yeah, he loves Lisp, loves it. He's put several snippets of his Lisp code in my Discord, and I mean, granted, it does look somewhat elegant, if not a little bit unreadable. But why so many parentheses, man? Why you need so many parentheses? I don't understand it. You would definitely want some sort of rainbow colored parentheses extension in your editor if you were working with Lisp. Okay, let's actually store some data instead of just allocating memory for no practical purpose, aka Haskell programming. As you know, our stack has a count and a capacity, but what happens when the count is equal to the capacity? We need to make room for more data. We'll take a simple approach. Whenever we run out of capacity, we'll double it. That way we don't have to reallocate memory on every push. For example, when we reach the capacity here, then we will double it to 8. Cool. Complete the stack push function. It safely adds a new object to the top of the stack. Remember, the size of the data array is the capacity of the stack, and the number of elements that are actually in the stack is the count. Okay, if the stack's count is equal to the stack's capacity, so let's go ahead and just say if stack count is equal to stack capacity, then we want to double the stack's capacity. So we'll basically do this. We'll say stack capacity equals times 2. Reallocate enough memory for the stack's data using the new capacity. Okay, so that would mean what would that mean? It basically means we need to say stack data. Well, what happens if it fails? If alloc fails, set the stack's capacity back and return from the function. The old data is still valid. Well, shouldn't I do that first then? I feel like I should do that first, yeah? So I feel like we should do new capacity. Oops. Int new capacity equals 2 or equals stack capacity times 2. Like that. So I've tried F sharp just a little bit, but I haven't given it enough time to really say I've tried it. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say lovely things about it, but it's for whatever reason it really hasn't caught on. The one part about it that I remember when I did try it was I really liked the I really liked the pipe operator. So you can do stuff like this and like this, and then you call functions over here. I thought that was a really nice syntax feature, Kind of remind me a lot of Link in a lot of ways. There's just so many programming languages to try, It's crazy. Run out of time to get to them all. Okay, and then we'll do, this would be void star new data, which would be malloc new capacity times the size of star void. Okay. And if new data equals null, then we will return, what do we return? Set the, and return from the function. I guess just return like that. Okay, so if everything succeeds, then we can go ahead and mutate the stack. So we can set that to new capacity, and we can set this to new data. However, I have a question. What about how do I get the, so I probably have to do this, don't I? I probably have to do mimcopy, right? Because I have to take the old data, copy it to the new data. So I'm going to do this. I don't remember the signature for mimcopy. The signature, mimcopy. So this is the destination, this is the source, and this is the size. So do we have any documentation? Where is that at? Here, c++.com. F sharp is effectively, what'd you say? Effectively OCaml? Interesting. I think I've heard of OCaml before. I think I've heard TJ DeVries talk about OCaml. That it's kind of like Rust, but with like better ergonomics, something like that. You may be low-key functional brained. I don't know what I am at this point. I've bounced around so much over the last 18 months, 24 months. Okay, so we want the size of the destination. Is that what size is? Number of bytes to copy. I guess I just want to copy all of it, right? Okay, let me think through this. So we have our old capacity, right? Okay, that's size T. So this is actually size T. Oopsies. Not int. Now, which I don't even know if I can do that operation on it. Can I do that operation on the size T? C, multiplication on size T. Okay, you can do that according to the internet. Okay, so then I guess what we do here is we'd say we want to copy the new data. New data is our destination. Our source is the old data, stack data. And how much of it we want to copy is essentially the existing capacity. Right? And if memcopy fails, what does that return?
Pranish Codes is reminding you to hydrate.
Hey, thanks, Pranish. Appreciate that. Thanks for using some of my rewards, man. Let's see, check if memcopy failed. Okay, you cannot check it. Okay, cool. So then we will just do, oh, this also needs to be, yeah, so stack new capacity, stack new data after we copied it. Update the stacks data field to point to the new memory. That's what I did. Now add the new object to the top of the stack and increment the stack's count. Okay, so then we're going to say stack. I actually don't know how to do this. Stack data at stack count equals the object, and then stack count plus 1. Expected expression. Void star new data equals malloc new capacity times size of, oh, whoops. I flipped those. Error. Call to undeclared function memcopy. Okay. Where does memcopy rely on? Memcopy. I wonder if I'm not supposed to use the memcopy because it didn't include it in the include. Okay, maybe that's not the right way to do it. Maybe we should just loop over. I don't know. The realloc function is used to resize memory that was previously allocated. It takes a pointer to the old memory and the new size and returns a pointer to the new memory. Oh, okay. So I can actually then move this up, and instead of calling malloc, I can actually call the old thing, which would be stack data. Well, that's a handy little function, isn't it? Oh, then we need to change the name of this to realloc. Realloc. Okay. Hey, I did it right. That's awesome. I have very little confidence, I think, in what I'm writing, so that's why I'm so surprised. See, as you should know by now, items go on and off the stack from the same in, last in, first out. Don't worry, the pop method is much simpler than the push method in our case, because we don't have to worry about resizing the stack. Complete the stack pop function. If the stack has no elements, return null. How would we know if the stack has no elements? I guess that would be... Oh, God. Why are you doing that? Are you having a good time? My wife scared me. How often per day you doing boot.dev? Just once, usually just during the stream. Yeah, just during stream, and then I get off and usually I'll work on my side projects and stuff throughout the day. So this would be stack count equals 0, I guess. Then we return null. And then decrement the stack's count. So this would be stack count -1. And then return the top element of the stack. But we didn't actually remove anything, did we? Return the top element of the stack. Return stack of data at stack count. Okay. We didn't actually remove any data though, did we? We just moved the count. So what happens to that? So what happens to that last element that we supposedly popped? You don't need those extra braces? Which one? These? You mean these right here? You can just run it like this. I've been putting them around every little arrow operator because I've been scared that I don't understand the order of the precedence of different operations. Because that looks much nicer. Although this looks kind of ugly, I will admit. I don't like that line. Okay, let me read this real quick. You're right, stack pop doesn't erase anything from the data array, it just decrements the count, returns the pointer that was sitting at the slot. The pointer value is still technically there in the array, unchanged at index count. Here's the key insight. The stack never owned the data being pointed to in the first place. Look at how the test uses it. The stack only stores a... Oh, okay. Yes, that's a important distinction. When you call stack pop, you get that same address back. The integer 1 was never inside the stack's data array, only a pointer to it was. Okay, yep, that makes sense. You are one smart guy, Boots. I refuse to touch C++ outside of a professional setting. Some people love C and C++. They love working with these languages. Okay, so I just disconnected from YouTube and Twitch, but I did not have any break in my... Huh. I don't understand, man. Maybe I need to go back to using OBS. Maybe it's Meld Studio. I don't know. So weird. C is amazing. C++ not so much. Interesting. Why? But aren't they like cousins, like very closely, or maybe even like considered siblings? Like they're very closely related. I guess I would figure if you like one, you'd like the other. Okay, in C, we don't have a lot of abstractions at our disposal. There are no classes, destructors, functors, monads, and made-up category theory words, etc. We've got data, and we've got functions. Just the way Dennis Ritchie intended. So, to make it easier to work with our stack, we're going to build our own little free function that will clean up all the memory that we've allocated for our stack. Complete the stack free function. If the stack is null, return immediately. If the stack data is not null, free the stack data. And then free the stack itself. Okay. So, if stack not null. Oh, if the stack is null, sorry. Just return. If the stack data is not null, free the stack data. So we call free stack data. Then free stack. Nice. We're making moves here, we're making moves. C has foot guns, C++ has got nukes. Oh man, yeah, that does sound shitty. That's a funny way to put it too. See, oh boy, C and C++ are very different. C++ is a superset of C, but it's way more complex. C++ has to be the hardest and most complex language by far. Oh wow. Okay, well I'm struggling with C, so after yesterday, I kind of felt like if I had to be a C programmer, I probably wouldn't have the chops, man. I wouldn't make the cut. So C++ is probably one step beyond what my intellect was designed for. Let's see, up until now, even though we made our stack with void star, you'll notice that we've only stored plain old int pointers. I want to show you that you can actually store anything in the stack, even heterogeneous lists. That being said, this is usually a bad idea. TJ likes to use the word TJ likes to use words like heterogeneous to keep kids who don't read good at bay. He meant to say, you can actually store anything in the stack, even lists of different types of data. Now, we're going to do something pretty gross to demonstrate the wise words of one of the philosophers of our time. With great power comes great responsibility. I'm going to have you push an int pointer and a regular old int directly onto the stack. A bad idea. I just want to show you that you can store anything in a void pointer, even values that aren't pointers at all. Complete the scary double push function. Let's see. Push the value 1337 directly onto the stack using the stack push function. You'll need to cast the value to a void. Okay, so we'll do stack push. And then how do we cast again? I do have a question. Why is all the C documentation pointing to C++ reference? Is that just community thing? Okay, type name expression. So we just do void star and 1337. You'll need to cast the value. Okay, allocate memory for a new int on the heap. So we do malloc add memory for a new int. So malloc size of int. New memory. Set the value to which the address points to 1024. So this would be point new memory equals 1024. Then stack push new memory, I think. What does stack push take? Takes the object and the stack. Oh, sorry. Okay. ISO C does not allow indirection on operand of type void. So this would be int, and then I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's see. How to assign value to new memory. I'm lost here. Let's see. I don't know how to assign 1024 to my newly allocated memory. I tried star new memory equals 1024, but alas, I was wrong. Please correct me, oh wise one. What is your suggestions to learn a new piece of tech? Just get in there, man. You gotta get your hands dirty, you know? You gotta build with it, you gotta wrestle with it, you gotta try to break it. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta, Waves Coder, you just gotta spend time with it. And in any time you encounter an understanding or an assumption that doesn't line up with the results of your experience, you need to figure out why that delta exists, right? Like what, and just you, there's no substitution for that, right? Like you can read a book, you can watch a video, you can talk to an LLM, but you don't really develop your own good mental model of what you're doing until you actually like really lay hands on it and actually start to stub your toe, build yourself into corners, have to build yourself out of corners. There's no way to avoid that work. People want to tell you that there are ways to avoid it, but there's not. Anybody who's like quote unquote an expert at something, they've spent a lot of time, quote unquote in combat with that thing, and they understand it intricately inside and out because they've wrestled with it a lot. Hey, Inspire, good to see you. Happy Sunday to you as well. We are doing C. Yes, we're about halfway through the C course. Okay, good instinct, but the compiler is telling you something important. You can't dereference a void star directly. C doesn't know what type it is. Oh, so this actually should be int star. And this should be memory. And then cast it here, like we did up above. Ah, there we go. Okay, multiple types. So we saw that we can push both int and int star types into the same stack. Again, a bad idea. In this example, we'll see that not only can you push values and pointers into the same stack, but you can also push different types of values into the same stack. This is once again a terrible idea, but the thrust of what we're getting at here is C doesn't care what you put in memory. It's bytes all the way down. I think this is the thing that it seems like there are programmers that I respect that have a much better mental model that's built around this than I do. Like they have far more comfortability working with data in a byte representation than I do. And I'm guessing that comes from more time actually working with like these lower level languages. Okay, fortunately, C doesn't let you do these conversions automatically, but it still lets you do them. When you're working with Void Star, you're working with raw memory addresses, and you can cast them to whatever you want. Complete the stack push multiple types function. Allocate memory on the heap for a float, and set the value to which it's pointed to 3.14. Push the float pointer onto the stack using stack push. Okay, so this is the same idea. So we'll do float star new value equals malloc size of float. And then we will say push stack push, give it the stack, and then we have to cast this new value to void star. And then we have to set new value to point at 3.14. I'm actually going to rename this. Okay. Then create a char star constant that points to the value snake leg is blazingly slow. So char star, I guess we can do const char star equals message, and that message is snake lang is blazingly slow. Then get the length of the stir for memory allocation. Remember, leave room for the null terminator. Get the length. Copy the value to the memory. Push the pointer to the memory onto the stack. So how do I get the length of the I don't know how to do that. I know the rest of the steps. You have to allocate memory for char star, so we'll do I don't know what to call things. That's the other thing I'm struggling with. Message pointer, I guess. And this is going to be malloc, and it's the message size, I guess. And then I don't know how to get the length of message. Okay, so we have that. Allocate the memory for star char. So I guess this is where we could use the mem copy function, right? So we could say mem copy. This would be message pointer, message, and then message size. But we don't actually have that, but that's what it would be. And then we would stack push the cast it void star, and we stack push message pointer like that, and then we're done. Obviously that won't work. I don't know how to get length of star message. I know I can use stir lang, but is that what is that? Okay here. I mean, I guess I'll just do it. I'll just use stir lang and see if that works. Let's see. What does stir lang return? Stir lang, see. Just return size of t. So this would actually be size t message size equals stir lang of message, and we need to add one because of the null terminator. Hey, I did it. That's maybe hold on, let me submit. I used stir lang to get the length of the message. Is that correct? I guess I could also look at their solution. Let's see. Sterling returns the number of visible characters before the null terminator. Since C strings need that final null, adding one gives you the correct number of bytes to allocate for the whole string. Your copy also matches that size. Okay. Nice. Oh, so it is right. I wonder why he used. Let's see, why in the official solution they used size of char times length to get the size of memory to allocate over just the size t length. See, because it makes the intent explicit, means allocate enough memory for the length of chars, but in C, size char is guaranteed to be 1, so these are equivalent. Okay, just a preference. Size t length equals size of address of message divided by size of char would work, I guess. Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's another way to get at the same value. Interesting. I don't think I've seen that approach so far in the course. Alright, objects in C. No way. However, snakelang is built in C, and everything in snakelang is an object. To be clear, not a class or object-oriented programming object, but a higher-level data structure that holds some metadata about itself. For example, it will store what type of data it holds, the size of the data it holds, the data itself, and how many references to itself exist, at least later when we build our own garbage collector. That last point is critical because snakelang is a garbage collected language. We need to know how many references to an object exist so we can free it when it's no longer needed. Complete the missing definitions in snakeobject.h. Here's a breakdown of all that this file should define. An enum called snakeObjectKindT with a single value integer. So let's do that first. So we have to define type def enum, and we'll do snake object kind has one value integer, and it needs a type def name of snake object kind t. I think that is correct. And we need a union, so that's type def union snake object data with a type def of snake object data t with a single member named v int. I never know if I'm supposed to use semi or commas there. Type def struct. Call this snake object with a type name of snake object t and a member type of snake object t. I see what we're doing here. Cool. Let's start simple with a simple integer object. The difference between a snake integer and a regular C integer is that the snake integer is allocated on the heap, can store additional metadata about itself, for now just as type. The virgin C integer is allocated on the stack, doesn't know when it's being used. The Chad snakeling integer is allocated on the heap, knows when it's being used and abused. What an odd, meme. What is it? Complete the new snake integer function in snakeObject.c. It should use malloc to allocate heap memory for a new pointer to a snake object t. Okay, so let's do a pointer to snake object t, and I'll just call it an object pointer. And we'll say equals malloc size of snake object t. Then I want to check to see if the object pointer equals null. If it does equal null, we will return null. Set the kind field of this new snake object to the integer enum. So obj pointer kind equals integer. Then set the v-int field of the new to an integer to the integer value passed in. So obj pointer data and then v-int. Okay. So is the way you trace that like this? Return the pointer to the new object, or is it like this? Because it's not a pointer, it's actually a that's a good question. I don't really know how. Return the pointer to the new return obj pointer. So we did that, we did that, we did this. I think we did this. If you're curious how this will be used, take a look at the main C file. You'll see code that looks like this. Okay. That works. I have a question. Why do you not have to instantiate anything for the data member of the snake object? Why can I just assign to it? Hey, what's up? Sorab, hello. Nice to see you. The memory for the entire struct gets allocated in one shot, including the space for data. That's the key. Malloc already reserved the bytes needed for the union when it reserved bytes for the whole struct. There's no separate allocation step needed for data because it's not a pointer to something else on the heap. It's a value embedded directly in. Okay, yep, okay. So if it was a pointer, we would have to manually allocate memory on the heap for it. Yeah. Why stir copy and not mem copy in your example? Ah, that's good to know. So I could have actually used stir copy in the last exam, or the second to last problem we did. Okay, Snakeling needs float, obviously. How else will all the crypto bros write weird floating point bugs into their smart contracts? So how do we store both floats and ints into the same type? We're going to use the union and enum features in C to be able to do this. Just like we discussed in previous chapters, you will need to extend the existing snake object kind T and snake object data T types to be able to include both ints and floats. We will continue to add more types in the following chapters to exercise your newfound mastery of memory management. This is my newfound mastery of memory management. That's a reach. That's a big reach. Okay, add a new enum value for float. Okay. We'll do float v float. Declare the new snake float function. Okay. In snake object C, complete the new snake float. Allocate memory for a new pointer. I'm just gonna do this. So this would be v float. We allocated memory. We checked if it was null. We set the kind field. Set the value. Return the pointer. So interesting. So the only thing that's different between these two functions is purely this. This is where in my brain I start thinking, oh, there's got to be a way to dry this up. There's got to be a way. Run. Submit. We're on a roll here. We're on a roll. New challenge available. Diverge Git branches. I'm not going to do that. Okay, time for a little bit of a kettlebell break. Okay, that feels better. I gotta get a better chair, man. This chair is not super comfy to sit in for a long time. Maybe I could make enough money from streaming to buy myself a new chair. Okay. Go to university auction, get a used office chair for cheap. I got 2K1 for $5. Ooh, that's a great idea. How'd you find the university auction? I'm in the United States. I don't know if you're also in the same place, but that's a great idea. Okay, we need to continue our snake object build out, so now we need a string. Jar star. Like that. Search local universities near you on their homepage search feature, search auction. Ooh, good idea. Let's see, there's a pretty big community college near me. We actually live in a pretty like schwanky county. Not that we're schwanky people, but I bet they do have nice stuff there. It's called Johnson County Community College. Let's see. Search. What am I looking for? I'm looking for auction. Huh. So far, no hits. Did I spell that wrong? No. I wonder if I just do a Google search for it. Johnson County Community College auction. JCC Surplus Store is an online virtual warehouse for department staff and faculty to repurpose and recirculate campus furniture and other large office goods. It's so maybe I can just send him an email. I'm just gonna send him an email. My name is Stephen Freeborn. You can reach me at this address. Used office chair. Hi, I'm a resident here in Olathe. I'm in the market for a nice used office chair. I see your surplus store is only open to faculty, how do you spell it? Faculty and staff, but I was wondering if you might make an exception for a motivated buyer, even willing to negotiate a rate above what you might offer faculty and staff. Looking forward to hearing back from you. Dude, cold emails on websites. Like, I'm guessing there was a day. Hey, Kale, what's up, man? Good to see you. Had to go get some food. I'm back. Did you find a chair? I didn't find a chair. I did find their website. They have a surplus store. So I'm just gonna send an email. But what I was getting ready to say is, I'm guessing there was a point in time on the internet where if you went to a website and you submitted a contact us form, you were almost guaranteed a response. But now, I feel like every website has a contact us form, but the odds of you actually getting a response are very, very low. Another day, another Docker problem. This time I accidentally nuked the new VM I just made for Jellyfin by itself, resized it smaller, and Proxmox doesn't like LV resize. But I have a backup, just CBF, going to do it next weekend. You've been going through it lately with your home lab, man. Took Rockstar 3 years to contact me back to get my account. Wow, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. That's a part of the internet that's really, it's really sad that the internet's like that now, you know? Like, I wish more people were more invested in having their own little space on the internet, and I wish their individual little spaces were more social than what they are. All the social connectedness happens in these very isolated. I think that's why I'm still very excited for something like the Fediverse, right? Or App Protocol. I don't really care which, like, I don't really have a dog in that fight, but I would love to see a internet renaissance around that. Will that ever happen? Probably not, because there's no money in it, but it would be cool to see it happen. We got that. So in snake object C, allocate memory for a new pointer to snake object T. Okay. So I guess I'll call this. I guess I can do a lot of the same stuff. Yep. We have our object. We checked if it's null. Now we've got to do some extra work down here, don't we? Calculate the length in bytes using stir length of the string passed in. Allocate the memory in a char star field equal to the length of the string plus 1. So we need to do int length, size t, sorry. Size t length of value equals stir length of value plus 1. Oh, I guess actually it should be this. And then int null. Can size t just be 1? Is that valid? I guess I was going to make this say null terminator offset. Can this be a const? And then we need to allocate the memory. So we'll say char star v pointer equals malloc, and malloc needs to be the length of value times size of char plus 1, or plus null terminator offset. I think actually what I want to do is I just want to say size t equals v pointer size. Put that up here like that. And let's just make this a little bit more explicit. Okay, and if that fails, if v pointer equals null, we done fucked up. Return null. Otherwise, We need to do some shit. Copy the data from the input value into the new string field you just allocated using stir copy. So stir copy is, I never remember the stir signature. So this is just going to be the destination, which is vptr, and the value that was given. Then we set the kind a string, and then we set the v string field to our v pointer, like that. Oh no! Call to undeclared function stir copy. Damn it. We did it. Look at us. See you, Kale. Thanks for hanging out, man. Good luck at your new job. Hope it goes well. Okay. In snake object.a, forward declare the snake object t struct at the top of the file. It will need to be used in a circular dependency between snake object t, snake object data t, and snake object vector t. Forward declare. So that would be, how would we forward declare it? We do this. So we just do type def struct snake object t, like that? Or does it need to be this? I'm going to try that. Create a new struct called snake vector t that has 3 fields. Name the fields x, y, and z. Each field should be a snake-laying object pointer. Okay. Type def struct snake vector t. Then it has 3 fields x, y, and z. Each field should be a snake-laying object pointer. So we want snake object t pointer x, and then x, y, z. Add a new enum value. Vector 3. Add a new snake vector t field, the struct type you just created, to snake object data t called v vector 3. Okay. Snake vector t called v vector 3. Declare the new snake vector 3 function. How's it called over here? I'm going to go ahead and... This must be not the right way to write C functions, but this is how I'm going to write them. I think that other style of formatting is just not readable. People do that in C# too, and I just makes my eyes bleed. Okay. See, the vector3 field is not a pointer to a vector3. It's directly allocated inside the struct. We can do this because we know the size of the vector. It's only 3 pointers wide in advance. In snakeObject.c, complete the new snake vector3 function. If any of the inputs are null, return null. Okay, so if x equals null or y equals null or z equals null, return null. Wonderful. Now what we need to do is allocate memory for a pointer of snake object t, which is what we're doing down here. I feel like this needs to become its own function called like allocate snake object or something. So here, if any of the inputs, yeah, we did that. Set the field to the appropriate enum. So that's going to be object of kind equals vector 3. Okay, initialize the vector3 field of the new snake object so that its x, y, and z members point to the input objects. For example, by creating a snake vector t with those fields and assigning it to v vector 3. Okay. So we do v vector 3, sorry, snake vector. And then how do I initialize a struct? We do then we do object v vector 3, I guess data dot v vector, oh goodness, v vector 3 equals v. Then return the object. I'm not confident I did the initialization right. Let's see. Warning, typedef requires a name. So should it be snake or snake vector like this? Unknown name. Okay, so should it be this? Okay, I don't know how to forward declare. Can I do snake object, or sorry, snake vector like this? Error, unknown type, snake vector t. Okay, I How do I forward declare the snake vector struct? Or is that what I'm supposed to be forward declaring? No, I'm supposed to be forward declaring the snake object. So it should be why does it keep saying unknown? Did I spell it wrong? Okay, I'm stuck. I did finish the Python one, Cyberlanka, so we're on to C now. Okay, let's go. The compiler says unknown type snake vector t at the line where you declare snake vector t vector 3. Think about how C reads a file, top to bottom. When the compiler reaches that line, okay, is it really that simple? Just need to move this up. No, that's not going to do it. Dude, I'm so fucking... Nope. Okay. Think about how, yes, where is snake vector defined relative to where it's used inside snake object data? Alright, so I moved it up. Once you sort out the ordering issue, take a look at this line too. Snake vector v equals struct snake vector. A few things to consider. A struct snake vector, actually the name of your struct. Check what you named it in the header. Okay. In C, when you want to create a struct value using a designated initializer, do you need the struct vector keyword type name in front of it, or can you just assign the brace initializer directly? I actually don't know. I still don't think that's the problem though. It's definitely what I called it. Snake vector t. Snake vector t. Still stuck. Okay, look closely at this line. Compare it to how the actual struct is defined here. Notice the naming here. There are two different names in play. The struct tag, the name that comes right after struct, and the type def alias. In your forward declaration, you wrote this, but what is the actual struct tag used? A forward declaration needs to reference the exact same struct tag that will be later defined. Well, this is how I had it a minute ago, and that did not work. Of course it works now. I must have typed something wrong. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Erase. Hey, Satya. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Okay, add a new enum value to the snake object kind. What an array! Create a new struct called snake array T that has 2 fields. Type def. Struct is going to be snake array. Snake array T. And it has a number of elements of the size T. And then it has elements, which is a pointer to an array of snake object pointers. It's a pointer to an array of pointers. So we need snake object T. We're going to call this elements. Oops, not what I meant. Click. Add a new snake array T field. Okay, that's for the data. So this will be snake array T called V array. And again, it's not a pointer. Every time we allocate a snake object, we're actually going to allocate probably a pretty good chunk of memory, aren't we? Declare. Well, I guess not, right? Because this is actually just going to be, at the end of the day, a pointer to a list of pointers. Add a new snake array T field. Declare the new snake array function. We can do that. This will be snake object T, new snake array. And we will take in, what are we going to take in? We're going to take in a snake object T pointer. Or multiple? Yeah. Oh, we're not actually filling it, we're just initializing it. So this will be size T size. Alright, what do you want us to do now? Accept a size parameter, we've done that. Allocate memory for a new pointer to a snake object T. Yep. We can do that, we know how to do that, we've written that a lot. How much left? We're on level 64. So we've got 40 levels to go. I don't know how much XP that is, though. I'm guessing their XP system is kind of one of those things where it takes some scale factor more XP to go to each level as your levels go up. And if I had to guess, they've probably scaled that to match whatever the path is. Like, I'm guessing I need to go through most of these courses to earn enough XP to get there. So it's taking me, I don't know, what, 2 or 3 weeks to get to 64. So I probably have another 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know. It depends on how long I take on the personal projects. I'd like to write a personal project in C to really kind of challenge myself, which could take me much longer than if I just wrote some project in Python. So we'll see. I guess as long as it takes. I have about 19 years until I can retire, so I have to fill that time somehow. So I basically have all the time in the world to get to Archmage. Actually, I take that back. I have like 8 months because I paid for 12 months, a 12-month subscription. So I have probably 9 months left, 10 months left, something like that. Saroj. Hello, sir. How are you doing? I'm doing good. How are you doing? Did that. Okay, allocate memory for a new pointer to an array of snake objects. How much memory should you allocate? Think about it. Probably the size of a pointer for each element in the array. We're not storing the actual snake objects in the array, just pointers to them. If the allocation fails, free the first snake object allocation and return null. Use calloc instead of malloc so there's no junk in our array to start. Excuse me. We want beautiful, pristine nulls. Note that calloc takes 2 arguments, number of objects and the size of each object. Okay, how much memory should we allocate? So size t array memory should be it should be the size that we were given times the size of a snake object t pointer. And then we're going to get back I guess I don't know what we're going to get back. Allocate memory for a new pointer to an array of snake objects. So I think this is the size, but I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to put here. So calloc array memory. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's go ahead and just do the other things first, and then we'll set the object kind to an array. Create a new snake array t struct, set the size in elements field. So this is our array. Equals dot size equals size, and then dot elements equals, I guess, elements, which we don't have yet to do. How to allocate necessary memory. Set the kind. Then we can do obj v data dot v array equals array. I don't remember what we called that. V array. Then return obj. Ever thought of starting any testing frameworks? Me? No, me personally, Sayaji? Are you talking to me? What do you mean testing frameworks? You mean like build something like Playwright or Selenium, stuff like that? You're learning Rust, very cool. Great. I was also learning C, what a coincidence. I am learning C for the first time as well. I've never done anything with it. So boot.dev contains different things inside them? Yeah, so boot.dev has a bunch of just standalone courses, and then they have a couple different like curated paths of like, hey, if you want to be a backend dev or you want to be a DevOps person, follow this sequence of courses. But they also introduced a kind of a new feature where you can build your own path of their, build your own path with your own sequence of courses if you want. So they kind of have both structured as well as unstructured. I think a lot of people sometimes just sign up so they can take a singular course, I'm guessing. I think it's really up to you kind of how you want to use the platform. Something like that. No, I have not ever thought of doing that. I don't think I have the skills or the knowledge or the chops to build something like Playwright. You know, I mean, that seems crazy complicated. Lots of time and energy. Um, I think the Playwright was incubated at Microsoft for quite a long time before it ever released to the public. Um, Playwright original creators. So it launched in 2020. Let's see, where was it first? So it launched in 2020, but I think they started development on it ways before that. The roots of it I think came from Puppeteer, if I remember right. A lot of the roots came from Puppeteer, and a lot of the API design came from React Testing Library. That was a lot of the inspiration for it. But yeah, I don't think I have the I don't think I have the chops to build that all myself. Just wondering since I work with it. Yeah, I mean I love Playwright. I work with Playwright every day at work too. I don't know why anybody would use anything other than Playwright in today's world for end-to-end testing, especially in the web world. Have you built any framework or something like that? No, no. You mean like I'm assuming you're asking like have I built something like Next.js or have I built something like Playwright or any of those sorts of types of frameworks? No way, Jose. Again, I just don't think I don't think I have the skill or the programming chops to build some of that stuff. That a lot of that stuff's probably way more complex than anything I've built. You should reach boot.dev man so you can get the sponsorship or something. That'd be pretty cool. But that's okay. I don't need a sponsorship, you know. I mean, I would take one, but I mean, my channel's so small, you know. It's so small. I get so little views. I have so little subscriber base and growth that like I can't envision like pitching somebody on be like, "Hey, sponsor my YouTube channel," because it will bring you lots and lots of business value. It won't, you know. Uh, so uh, yeah, you know, I guess if I was trying to make YouTube into a career, I'd have to hustle a little bit more like that. Um, but I don't support my family or put food on the table from YouTube. Kudos to people who do, though. I can't imagine the amount of work and discipline and effort that goes into building a successful YouTube channel like that. Satya, quality is greater than quantity. True, unless we're talking, unless you're talking marketing, then quantity matters a whole heck of a lot. How many subs do you have? How many views do you get? All marketing spend is based around that. And YouTube channels are just tiny little media companies, right? So the code guy, what are things you know? Just asking. What do you mean things I know? Like what do I feel like if I was gonna build a frame? Like, are you saying if I don't know how to build a framework, what do I know how to build? Is that what you mean in development? I feel like I could build most things in C sharp or TypeScript. You know, I know C sharp, I know TypeScript, I know Go pretty well, I know Rust pretty well. Um, I built a lot of web apps, built a lot of CLI tools. Um, I've built a couple. I guess now I've built a couple desktop applications using Rust. Um, I mean, I guess when I say I don't think I could build Playwright, I guess what I mean is it would take me so long to build it that no one would give a shit that I had built it by the time I built it. You know what I mean? Like I believe I'm capable of learning anything and accomplishing anything on a long enough timeline. But if you said, "Hey, Steven, you got to sit down and rebuild the Playwright framework from scratch in 6 months," I'd be like, "Well, probably not." But if you said, "Hey, Steven, we need you to build a REST API for us," I'd be like, "Sure, I can do that. No big deal." You know. You are pro. Why are you saying you cannot build? Just do once. Well, I guess I'm trying to clarify. It's not that I can't build things or I don't know languages or I don't understand programming. Uh, it's just what's your level of confidence in being able to complete a task in a constrained amount of time, right? I believe all of us could probably build just about anything we set our minds to, but if it takes you a year and a half or 2 years to build something, and there's already good alternatives out on the market, I don't think anyone's going to give a shit that you built that thing. They'll have moved on. You ever thought to create an LLM from scratch for fun? I have actually. Yeah, I actually bought a book that taught me and walked me through doing just that. It's a good book. Let me grab it. It may be the information in it and the technology in it might be a little dated now. Um, this is like one of the only programming languages, one of the only programming or development related books I bought. It's called Build a Large Language Model. It's good.
Did we just become best friends?
It was, hey Fanberg, thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Let's see, it was published in 2025. So, and that space moves so fast. So it might be a little dated, but it was good. I really enjoyed it. You use PyTorch and you basically go through training a very small one yourself, just on a very small set of data. And then what they do is they take you through loading in open weights from GPT-2 into your model. Because obviously training your own, producing your own weights is not really realistic for most of us permanent underclass folks. But it was a good book. Highly recommend it. Did you build LLM? I mean, I followed the instructions in the book, if you call that building an LLM. I mean, it's like a tiny LLM, I've heard good things about. There's a project out there by Andrej Karpathy called Nano GPT that I've heard good things about. I've never tried it or used it. I think Andrej Karpathy has several like little build your own, exercises. So if you're interested in that, that might be something to look at. LLM is LLM even if it's smaller? Yeah, I mean, even if it's smaller, but I also just kind of like followed along with the book, right? So I just wanted to have a better mental model of how large language models worked, and I just wanted to be able to have a conversation with people, who are way more intelligent about that stuff than me, but I wanted to be able to at least understand what they're talking about to some extent and have a somewhat of a mental model, right, of what this technology is. So it was a good investment of time and money. The book was a little expensive. It was like $50, but it was a good investment. Do you two face imposter syndrome? I think we all face imposter syndrome. That's just part of it, That's just part of life. It's a super small language model. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly that, good guy. Exactly that. Sorry, Danny, about the how come I'm doing C. I'm doing C just because that was the next course in the boot.dev curriculum. I missed that question. I apologize. Good morning, Rockin' Brain. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's see if we can figure out the last remaining piece of this puzzle. 9 p.m. Ooh, yeah, it's getting to be bedtime. It's 10. We're on opposite sides of the world. It's 10:50 here. 10:50 in the morning. Okay, how much memory should we allocate? Think about it. Probably the size of a pointer for each element in the array. We're not actually storing the snake objects in the array, just pointers to them. Okay. That's what I originally had written. Okay, I don't understand why do I need to do this if we're going to use this, and this takes two arguments, number of objects and the size of each object. So I'm going to type what I think is correct here. So I'm going to have a snake object T. Have I tried to learn hacking? I have not. I played very early on when I started getting into programming and development. Like this would have been like 2021, 2020, right? I played a game called Hack the Box. I don't know if you've heard of that. I think it would be fun to go back and play that game on stream. I think it costs money though, but boot.dev costs money too. So maybe we can earn enough money from the stream to buy a Hack the Box subscription. But I played this, and this was a lot of fun to play. I've not gone back to it in a real long time. But that's about as close, I guess, to hacking as I've ever been. Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. It's good times. Oh, I've heard of CodeCrafter. So I tried to get started with CodeCrafter's Build Your Own Git, and I got hard stuck and just never come back to it. I guess CodeCrafter is actually shut down though, didn't they? I think they shut down. I mean, the website might still be up. Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I guess they didn't shut down, but they're pausing work on it. Probably trying to sell it or find somebody else to take it up, which is too bad. I think for a lot of people, their education was good, but it was hard, you know? And people only have so much free time to devote to those things. There's Shell there, Reddit, Claude from scratch, and more. Damn, people cooking. I need to learn. Interesting. I knew about Shell. I knew about Build Your Own Shell. I knew about Build Your Own Reddit. Build Your Own Git. I think there's a Build Your Own database or something on there. I just haven't ever gone back to them. I think I'm at this point now where in my own side projects, I want to do one of two things. I either want to build new projects that are exploring an interesting problem to me, or I want to build projects that I can sell for money. So the idea of sitting down and rebuilding Git isn't super motivating to me. Like, it's interesting. I guess it's interesting, but it's not super motivating to me. It's because, like, I'm kind of reinventing the wheel, and I'm kind of just treading over other people's footsteps. But
Did
if
you
I
just
was
become best friends?
Terry, thank you for the sub. But if I was to build Git to understand something that helps me build my own thing, maybe that would be a good use of time. I do not want to build SaaS products. I think SaaS products are how do I say this? I think SaaS products are too much work. The idea of having to deal with an ever-growing customer base and scaling your infrastructure and all but I like the idea of building small apps and just selling those apps, right? So like the current thing I've been working on is a really small Windows desktop utility thing. I'm going to try to sell it for like $5. Lifetime lifetime license, as many devices as you want. So I like the idea of that, just like building some software that like you can package it up, give it to a person, and be done. One time exchange of money and software, and you move on with your life, and I move on with my life. You know, I don't want to be stuck servicing customers forever. uh, these days, all products have AI in them. Yeah, and I'm not interested in building an AI thing. I'm not interested in that. I don't want to build some sort of AI powered XYZ. That doesn't interest me. So I'm trying to find this overlap where like I can build small projects, small easily distributable apps that solve a problem I have, because I figure if I have the problem, somebody else probably does. And I want them to be as little overhead, as little maintenance, as little support as possible. You know, the idea of building some AI SaaS tool is not for me. Not for me. Uh, it's fun to build web-based stuff. I just don't want to have a business around a SaaS product. I've never done embedded programming. So that's all new to me. Yeah, that would be all new territory. I feel like these days easy tools to sell are some tools that attract vibe coders. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't want to build something for the sole purpose of making money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to build something that I find genuinely useful, that solves a genuine problem I have, and then I just want to offer it to sale for other people because maybe they have that same problem, right? And maybe I only sell like, I don't know, I could sell like one copy of it and I'd be happy. You know, it's like $5 more in my pocket to put in my Roth IRA this year. But yeah, I'm not trying to like, I'm not trying to like engineer my way to I'm not trying to like reverse engineer my way to some very popular thing, you know, which I know is like the opposite of the vast majority of people who are who are building software. There's an open source guy that I follow that I really like kind of his approach. Like he just has all these small little utility apps. He primarily develops for Mac OS and iOS, but they're just a bunch of little small, some are free, some are paid, you know, but they kind of do one thing and they do it well. They're not crazy complicated. So I kind of like this approach, you know. So I think I'm just going to kind of try to pursue that and constantly be on the lookout for like, what are small little problems that I have that I can package up and distribute. I think he sells a lot of his on the actual app stores, but I'm just going to put up a landing page with a Stripe checkout and go from there. Do you feel like it's harder to find good problems to solve? I don't think I find it harder. I think the thing is just you have to be aware. Like whenever you have a pain point and you have to be kind of sensitive to it, because I think a lot of us experience kind of rough edges in our kind of workflows and things we do every day. but we just kind of like, well, that's the way it is. We just kind of put up with it. And I think you just have to increase your sensitivity to like, oh, well, this is not quite, um, this is not quite smooth, or this could be smoother. And then, is there a piece of software you could build around that? So I think it's more of a like tuning yourself to be aware of problems. Tell me the coolest shit you built on the web. So the project that I probably have enjoyed the most is I built like it's like a clone. I think it's still deployed. This is probably one of the more enjoyable things I built. It's like a clone of X. But the fun part about it is that there's long form posting, so you can actually use Markdown to author your posts. This was fun. I mean, this was I built this for a hackathon, and it was a lot of fun to build. I don't know why it's taking forever to load this thing. This would have been 3 years ago. Oh my god, I built this in 2023. This is 3 years ago. There we go. So you can do stuff like, it's basically modeled after the GitHub editor is kind of what I copied. But you can do short form posts. You can preview it. Or you can do a short form post like this. Or like, let's come down here a little bit, and you could do a long form post like this, which I've always thought would be kind of a cool social experience to have, is to be able to mix and match like blogs with like a little social. So that was fun. I don't know if that's like I don't know if that's cool, but that was fun to build. What else? I built my own donations page. That was kind of fun. That was something we did last year. So I have my own, like, you know how people have like buy me a coffee sites? I built my own buy me a coffee page, and it's wired up to my text to speech. So if somebody buys me a coffee here, it will actually display on my stream. It'll do text to speech and display an alert on my stream, which is pretty cool. I built a Discord bot. That's actually a project that I feel like I learned a ton from. I built my own Discord bot in C#, implemented from scratch. I didn't use any existing libraries. That was a lot of fun to build. Yeah, it uses Stripe. Yep, it uses Stripe. I was building a mobile app for a few months, a social media app called Pulse. It's like a combination of Yik Yak and Instagram. I just worked on it for fun. You had feed whispers and discussions. I've never heard of Yik Yak and never used it, but obviously I know what Instagram is. But that sounds cool. I've never built any mobile apps, so that's all. I don't even know how to do it. I'd have to learn. I was gonna. This is my Discord bot that I built. And the most fun I had in the Discord bot was actually implementing the WebSocket connection. Where is it? I think it's actually in here in the library project. Or is it in the worker? Yeah. This guy right here. The Discord. Discord Gateway Client. This code, I come back and look at this code every now and again, and I think, how did I figure this out? But I basically implemented the Discord, Discord API WebSocket. They have a They have pretty good diagram here of how it works. See if I can find it. Right here. So you have to basically implement this connection handling. And it requires you to have like multiple tasks, multiple background tasks running, different loops and stuff, handling different events, and it was a lot of fun to build. A lot of people just use Discord.js, but I just re-implemented it myself because I wanted to write it in C#. We did that all on stream last year, which was a lot of fun. If you had to build something right now, what would you build in the web? I don't know what I would build for the web right now. The thing I'm building right now is it's like a utility to help you when you copy things. When you do copy action on your computer, it strips out stuff you don't want in the thing you copied. That's the thing I've been building right now, and I'm using Rust and React. I'm using Tari. It's like a desktop framework, but using web technologies for the Rust ecosystem. That's pretty fun. I think the thing I've been wanting to build on the web has been a resume site. That's been one thing I've been wanting to build for myself. Yeah, it's like Electron, exactly. It's like Electron. It's like the Rust Electron. It has a web front end, and then the back end is Rust. But they're in the same process, but the front end issues basically commands, inter-process commands. Sort of like RPC, but it's in the same process. And that's been fun to build. Chrome extensions, that's a great idea. Yeah, I think building stuff where there's already kind of a market for the thing you're building, I think is a good idea. I still go back to that. I think you got to build something that solves your own, that scratches your own itch. I think that's the best place to start. Build something that scratches your own itch. More than likely, somebody else is going to have that itch, right? I definitely, though, I see a lot of developers that want to build developer tools. That's the thing I see all the time, and I don't understand it. Because to me, developers are the worst customers. But there's a lot of I think what a lot of developers get mixed up on is a lot of developers, I think, want to be celebrities in the developer community, and most oftentimes celebrities in the developer community are people that have built really popular tools or frameworks or whatever you want to call it, and so they're trying to recreate that. Unfortunately, I just think that's not a very good use of most people's time and energy. Like, I think you'd much better off building, either working for other people or building software that you can sell to normal people, right? I think it's an interesting pattern that I see play out time and time again. Okay, I'm going to call this elements equals calloc size of snake object t pointers. If elements equals null, return null. Free object. Okay, so this is confusing. I don't think this bullet needs to be in this assignment. This makes you think like there's something else you have to do. This is how much memory should we allocate. Think about it. The size of a pointer for each element in the array. But you don't really need to do that. You just need to use this function. You don't really have to calculate these things. This function's going to do it. So this is a little confusing, I think. Actually, I'm curious if I actually did what they wanted you to do. Yeah, I did. Okay. Alright, objects. We can make empty arrays, which is kind of pointless, but at least the bones are there. Let's make our arrays useful by allowing us to store values in them. Snake array set. Sets a value at a specific index in the array. The equivalent in Python would be array3 equals new value. Okay. If the object or the new value is null, return false. If object equals null, it should be snake object. Or the new value is null, return false. If the object's kind is not array, return false. If snake obj kind does not equal array, return false. If the index is out of bounds, return false. Remember, varray field has a size field. Okay, so how we do that? If snake, so we know snake object is an array, so that we can access the data, and the data. I don't know, how do people say that? Data. You must analyze the data and compare the alpha to the beta. So data is here. So data is a varray, and varray has a size. So it'll be dot varray dot size. So index is out of bounds would mean the index or the varray size is less than the index. Or actually I'm going to say it like this. If index is greater than the varray size, return false. Hold on, where did the bool come from? I thought C doesn't have bools. The C programming has a Boolean type, but its availability depends on the version of C you are using. Huh. Okay. I thought I didn't have those. I thought C didn't have Booleans. See, classically C originally didn't have a built-in bool type like some languages do, but in modern C you can get Booleans by including as a type. In this lesson, snakeObject.h includes standard bool.h, and snakeObject.c includes, so your file can use bool. Got it. Set the value in the elements array at the specified index in the new value. So we'll do snake object data dot varray dot elements at index equals value. Oh no. What have I done? Is it? I guess it should be greater than or equal to, right? Yeah. Success. Now that we can store values in arrays, we need a way to retrieve. The correct way of saying data is the Star Trek way. Star Trek data. 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 You must analyze the data and compare its alpha to its beta. Huh. I think I hear most people say it as data. At least here in the United States. If the object is null, return null. If snake object equals null, return null. If the object's kind is not array, return null. If snake object kind does not equal array, return null. If the index is out of bounds, return null. If index is greater than or equal to snake object. How do we get that? Data.v array.size. Return null. A lot of null checks, Otherwise, return the value in the elements array at the specified index. Okay, you want a pointer though, not that. Okay, so you want snake object data v array dot elements at index. Nice. Oh dang, I forgot to start the. Oh, I have a greater potion. I keep forgetting to start the potions, man. I need to set a timer whenever I'm doing this stuff. Okay, now that we have all sorts of snake objects, we need a convenient way to get the length of any snake object in Python. Or any snake object. In Python, it's as easy as length x. As a Python dev, you don't have to know the value of x ahead of time because Python keeps track of it under the hood for you. We want the same capability in snake length. In snakeObject.c, complete the snake length function. So if object equals null, return -1. If the input is an integer, its size is always 1. So if obj kind equals integer, I think actually we can do probably a match, can't we? Let's do, or not a match, a switch. Let's do switch obj kind. If the input is none of the above, return -1. So we'll say default is return -1. And then we'll just start adding cases. Case integer, return 1. Case float. We can just do that there. If input is a string, its size is the length of the string in bytes. We can get stir length. Does that include the null terminator or not include? I guess that does not include the null terminator. So this would be case string equals return stir length of obj this would be data.v string. V string. We need to make sure we have standard string.h is important. If the input is vector 3, its size is 3, so case vector 3, return 3. If the input is an array, its size is stored in the v.array. Yep, case array equals return obj data.varray.size. Done that, done that, done that, done that, done that, done that. Run. Success! Dude, we're so close. I think we can finish the C course today. I think we can do it. What's 11:20? Actually, I don't know, actually. Now that I say that, I only have 40 minutes. If you're familiar with Python, you'll be familiar with how Python objects have an dunder add dunder method. It allows developers to specify custom logic for different types of objects. For example, adding 2 integers, we want to behave like this. But with an array, we probably want it to work like this. Okay? This is the final lesson on objects, and it's a big one. Take your time. You'll be using a lot of the functions that we wrote in the past chapters to complete this one. Complete the snake add function. It accepts 2 pointers to snake object T objects, A and B, and returns a pointer to a new snake object T, the result of the sum. Okay. Just try to go step by step here. If either input is null, return null. So if A equals null or B equals null, return null. If A is an integer, if, there's going to be a lot of nested ifs here, I think. If A kind equals integer. If B is an integer, return a new snake float with the sum of the float and integer. If B is a float, return a new snake float with the sum of the 2 float. Oh no, this we're looking at integer. Sorry, I'm at the wrong. If B is an integer, return a new snake integer with the sum of 2 integers. If B is a float, return a new snake float with the sum of the integer and float. Anything else, invalid operation, return null. So return null is the default in this branch. And then we'll say if actually I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna try to not nest it. I'm gonna do and be kind, then return new snake integer. So this would be integer, and this is a float. This would be new snake float. We did this one. That's just going to be our fall through. Okay, if A is a float, if A Phase float. Hey, what's up, Arvin? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. A is a float, and B is an integer. Return a new snake float with the sum. B is a float. I think this can be combined, huh? So we can do this, or if A is a string, if A kind equals string. I am using C. Yeah, this is fun. It is pretty fun once you get kind of on a little bit of a roll. It's fun. You definitely hit moments where you're like yesterday. I hit several moments where I was on the struggle bus, but that's learning. I think that's the part that a lot of people they run away from it because it's very uncomfortable. Like it's super uncomfortable when you're struggling with something new, right? But that's where all the learning happens. So you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. We are indeed using C though, Arvin. Yes, we're doing learning manual memory management. That's a course on boot.dev, and that's what we're doing right now. So string equals, or A equals string and B does not equal string, we can just bail. Otherwise, calculate the length of the new string. Okay, so we'll do this. Well, this one actually makes, I think, sense to nest. So we'll do if B kind does not equal string, we'll return null. Otherwise, we have some work to do. Calculate the length of the new string by combining the length of the two strings, properly handling the null terminator. So the length of the new string, so this would be size t, length of new string is going to be equal stir length of A plus stir length of B, and then we need space for two nulls, terminators, right? Allocate memory for a new temporary string using calloc. Okay, so this will be pass in the temporary string, free the memory for the temporary string, and return the new string object. So this is going to be return new snake string, and the signature for that is char star. So char star what do I want to call it? Char star new string pointer, or I guess new string. Okay, allow memory, okay, allocate memory for a new temporary string using calloc. So let's just call this our temp, which equals calloc. And calloc takes what? Calloc takes the size, so that's going to be the length of new string. Allocates memory for an array of num objects and initializes all bytes in the allocated string to 0. size of char. Okay. Then it wants me to use stircat. And what is stircat's signature? Stircat signature. Stircat takes the destination. So the destination would be the temp, right? And then we do A. Oops, this I'm in the wrong place. So temp A. And then we also need to call stir B. And then create a new snake string and pass in the temporary string. Free the memory for the temporary string and return the new object. Okay, so we have to do this. We have to say new string T equals new snake string snake object T star, right? Star. We pass in our temp. So question, why can we free the memory here? So free temp. Must be how our snake or is it new snake integer new snake string. So malloc. So we're actually allocating memory ourselves down here. I wonder what the idiom is. I'll have to ask Boots about that. So we freed it. I think that's right. Okay, now if A is a vector, if A kind equals vector 3, if B is not an array, no, if B is not a vector, invalid operation, return null. So this is another one where I think it makes sense to kind of nest these. So if B kind does not equal vector 3, return null. Otherwise, create a new vector 3. Recursively call snake add for each of the x, y, and z fields. For example, a vector 1, 2, 3 plus 4, 5, 6 should result in a new vector 5, 7, 9. Return the new vector struct. So new equals new snake vector. Okay, I'm stuck. I'm sorry, Arvin. I'm sorry your internet's having trouble. It could be my internet too, obviously. I don't know what to do here. So I'm going to leave it to do. Don't know. So for now, I'm just going to return null. But I know there's stuff I need to do here. If A is an array, if A kind equals array, and if B kind does not equal array, return null. We can actually clean up this nesting too, now that I know that the default case is null. We can actually just say hey, if and B kind equals array. Do some shit. We can do the same thing up here too. B kind equals vector 3. Keep forgetting the and sign. Now we can get rid of this. And B equals string. That's better. Now we don't have any. Now we just have a single level of nesting at each check. Oh shit, I jumped all the way down to the bottom. Okay, don't know. Okay, can we figure out the array? Create a new snake array with the combined length of the two arrays. Iterate over each index in A, and use snake array set and snake array get to copy the values from A to the new array. Do the same for B. Return the new array object. Okay, so we have a snake object T pointer. This is our new array. We want to call new snake array size T new array size is going to be equal to the A data dot B array dot size plus A data dot V array dot size, right? Oh, that's supposed to be B, not A. And this will be our new array size. I wish I had IntelliSense because a lot of it is just I don't know what I'm passing to what. New snake array, yeah. So there we go. Then once we have the new array, it wants us to iterate over each index in A and use snake array set. So this is where we have to say for int I equals 0 while I is less than so we got to do A first, right? So this is going to be A. I'm actually going to do this to make this a little bit equals new or equals A size. You set that to 0 for now. Size T of B size equals 0. Copy these guys. I want to copy, so Vim select all characters from one space to next space. Select all cursors between two spaces. Let's see, V-I-W, okay? V-I-W, but that just selects a word. V-A, let's see, V-A shift. VA shift. Ah, there you go. So VA shift. So then this will be A size plus B size. Ah, nice. Dinner? Yeah, it's lunchtime here actually. I'm probably gonna, after this lesson, I think I'll probably hop off and go eat some food. I gotta take my son to go buy some new football gear. He starts football practice next week, so I gotta go do that with him. So I think I'll get some food and then see if he wants to go do that and have ourselves a nice Sunday. I gotta go back to work tomorrow too. I've been off work for a week on vacation. So if A is an array, I think okay, so now what we can do is the reason I did that, sorry, going back to what I was doing. The reason I did that so I could do this, increment that, and we'll do the same thing for B. Let me say, I'm actually gonna call this AI, BI. Okay, so we get value. I guess I don't really know what's there, do I? So, well, yeah, I do. I know. It's a pointer, right? So it's a snake object T pointer. This equals A data B array dot elements at AI, right? So that's the current. And then we'll say oh, we actually have to so we have to make sure the indexes line up, right? From one loop to the next. Huh. There's a couple. I think there's a. Okay, I'm just gonna make this work. I'm not gonna do this in the prettiest way. I'm just gonna make it work. So we'll have int new array insert index, and basically on each iteration, this needs to be incremented in both loops. So this is BI, this is B, this is B size. And the reason we have to do that is so that we're always placing the element at the correct spot in the new array. So this will be new array what does this return? New snake array, what does that return? A pointer, okay. So new array at new array insert index equals the current. Same thing here. Okay, there's a way to, I think there's a way to do this which is a single loop. But you're always going to have two different indexes because you need the index to go into the one array and an index going to the other array. But I think this will work. So let's do return new array. Okay, the vector one, I don't know. Let me go ahead and run this and just see what happens. Invalid operands to binary expression. Okay, why can't I do that? So I guess I could do int new value equals a plus b. Oh, yep, because these are pointers. So it should be a data dot v int. And then like that. And so these actually do have to be separate checks. So then this is going to be a data dot v int, and then this one is going to be b data dot v float. And then we have to actually, we do actually have to separate this out into a separate. Got a little ahead of myself there. If this got a little fancy. Tried to get a little fancy. So this will be data dot v float, data dot v int, and then of course this is just needs to invert those which field they're accessing on the data. This would be float. Okay, now let's run. Oh, I did the same thing down here too, didn't I? This is going to be data.vString. Data.vString. Okay. So incompatible pointer types, passing snake object to parameter of type const star. So what does stir cat accept? Stir. Oh, it needs a pointer? Is that why? Okay. Let's go back here. So what are we doing? We are trying to create a temp variable that is the length of the new string. Stir cat signature. Okay, what line are we on? We're on line 29. Incompatible pointer types passing snake object pointer t. Oh, it's because it's the same stupid shit I did earlier. It's this data.vString. I'm treating like the pointers as if they're the value. 32. I did mean snake object v. Okay. Call to undeclared function. New. Oh, this would be new snake string. Okay. Error assigning to snake object t from incompatible type snake object t. Okay, iterate over each index in A and use snake array set and snake array get to copy the values from A to the new array. Oh, Okay, so I don't even need to do all this accessor stuff. So I can actually just use those methods. So I can say snake object t equals get, sorry, snake array get at this position. And the same thing here. Snake array get at bi. And then we still need to increment, but now we'll do snake array set, pass in the new array. I think that's what I called it. New array. And the current. Do that both places. Too few arguments. Too few arguments to function. Array, index, and value. Hey, Winterwind. Good old C, the language of the Jedis. Yeah, it's hard. Oh, damn, I'm out of coffee. Okay, so the set operation takes the value and the index. So this is array insert index. Alright, so the only, I know vector 3 is going to fail. How much armor do I have? Okay, I think I did all these, right? This is done. It's this vector that I kind of stuck on. Create a new vector 3. All right, let's just start there. Create the new vector 3. What does new vector 3 take? New vector 3 takes snake object, snake object, snake object. But it says it wants me to recursively call snake add. Recursively call, I think, is the misleading aspect of this. I think what it wants is this is what I think it wants. Let's do this. Could be wrong. But you gotta do something. You can't just stare at the screen, you know? You gotta try stuff. So I think the first thing is we want snake object t new x, right? And we want to do snake add, which takes a and b. Where's snake add at? Snake add, snake add, snake add. I don't see it. Oh, we're in snake add. So yeah, so we are recursively calling it. right? Yeah. So X, Y, Z, and then we return new snake vector 3, and we pass in new X, new Y, new Z. Yeah, although I have a range here. Maximum call stack size exceeded. That doesn't seem good. Okay, so the submission I made passed, but I see a range error of maximum call stack. Maximum call stack. That doesn't seem like a C error. That seems like a JavaScript, like a WASM error. Seems like an error from the WASM environment. Good catch. This is a classic infinite recursion crash. It's not an environment quirk. It's your vector 3 case. Look closely at what you're passing into snake add. You're passing A and B again. The exact same way, 2 vector 3 objects. Once you fix what you're passing. Oh, so should I just be passing the... Oh, yes, that makes sense. So I should just be passing... Again, this is my dumbass. This should be passing the data, right? And specifically, I think data. Oh, so I need to go down and get the actual X and Y's and Z's. So this would be V vector V vector 3 I think this is what I need to do. This will be Y. This will be Z. There we go. Success! Steven, bro, you should collab with Steven Blum. Yeah, he could teach me a thing or two, man. That guy's the real deal. I don't think people want to, I think his channel's, way bigger than mine. So he wouldn't get much value from collabing with me. I feel like if you collab with someone, you sort of have to have equal levels or equal sized channels, you know? But yeah, that dude, I think he's like a CTO. He's been a programmer for a super long time. I see him on my LinkedIn a lot. Seems like a nice guy. I mean, his name's Steven, right? Alright, that's it for me for today. That was fun. Let's see, I have just 2 more chapters to go and a handful of lessons. And then I have to figure out what to build for my personal project. So 20, I have 20, 15, I have 17 more lessons. And then I need to build something. I want to build it in C. So I kind of challenge myself. I don't know what to build though. Does he know? I mean, you both have decent experience in programming. You could put some gold content if you both collab. It's not just about reach and stuff. That's good. That's a good point. That's a good point. I just figure most people, that's what most people care the most about, you know? I'm okay with not having a lot of reach or a lot of subs, but I know, I don't know what his goals are with YouTube or whatever. My goals are just to kind of do something fun and enjoyable until I'm done working. You know, it's just a creative outlet. But I don't know if he's actually trying to like build a legit YouTube or whatever. I don't know. If he ever reaches out, I'm always up to it. I'm always up for it. All right, I'm gonna go eat lunch and maybe go shopping with my son for some football gear. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. If it's not Sunday, if it's already Monday for you, I hope you have a good Monday. And I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Bye. See you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you.